Though he is a junior, he came out when they introduced the 9 seniors. He was introduced because it's a foregone conclusion that that man, Josh Allen, is going to go to the NFL next year, and he figures to go very high in the draft.
It's a good moment for the fans here at the War to be able to celebrate him and what he's done for him as well.
Trey Woods is next to Smith. Smith's going to throw it on first down. Now he's in trouble, and you see his inexperience. He takes a sack back at the 15-yard line, a loss of 6. Malik Forrester got him. He's got to get rid of that football, doesn't he?
Yeah, Malik's able to get there, but they just rolled coverage down into the flat. He wanted to throw the out route on the far side of the field. Backer got underneath that. He wasn't able to do it, throw it out there, but a good job of not turning the ball over. Well,
Trey Woods
really didn't have anywhere else to go with it. So you take the sack, you got to give it up and go on to the next play.
See his inexperience. He takes a sack back at the 15-yard line, a loss of 6. He'll keep up the fake to Conway. And this is one of his strengths. He gets 5 of those yards back.
Coverage down into the flat. He wanted to throw the out route on the far side of the field.
That was Austin Ford.
Backer got underneath that. He wasn't able to do it. Throw it Austin Conway, player watch over the high school grad down in Colorado. Really explosive player. They'll need to get him the ball and take it different ways. And Trey Woods has come along, taking over that tailback spot defensively for Fresno State. Tabano, KK.
All after 5 of those yards back.
Coverage down into the flat. He wanted to throw
Pressure coming. Smith steps up. Austin Ford. And short of the first down. The pass was
taking over that tailback spot defensively for Fresno. Roll out and run to everything else. He's got to be patient. You want to throw away from the guy. He's got to stop runs or else. Be patient, throw away from the guy.
Johnson sees a punt from Tim Zaleski. It's a really good effort by Zaleski. Johnson back to his own 30. And all year long, Wyoming has done a terrific job on special teams, one of the best run coverage units in the NCAA. Nico Evans made the tackle. No score back at Zaleski.
Black Friday savings start early at Ace.
Save up to 50% on great gifts.
And up to 50%. It's a stage where champions are crowned and legends are born. Touchdown! 12 teams chasing one goal. The 2017 Mountain West Football Championship. Intercepted! A season-long quest for a reward that's as big as a mountain. What a game! Bragging rights and conference supremacy will be on the line on December 2nd. And the big game will be coming to your city. Follow your team's pursuit of the championship at themw.com.
Means rising up, so actions in the game. In today's extended classroom, impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit. Being bold means rising up. So actions in the game. In today's extended classroom, nurture the critical thinking skills, the disciplines that go beyond the scoreboard or academic rankings to impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. That's the purpose that binds us. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
We take a look at the Mountain West standings, brought to you by First Interstate Bank. Boise State, not a surprise. They've been number 1 for a long time. They're 6-0. So Wyoming, to overtake Boise State, and they lost to them earlier, needs help. They need a couple of losses down the stretch for the Broncos. We'll check the West again in a moment. Fresno State will put the ball in play at their own 34. Josh Hokett on a counter will move across the 40 to the 41.
And I'm not so sure Drew, that, you know, going with Hockett, he's a big physical guy. Maybe they want to go smash mouth. When they have a chance to line up with two tights and go smash mouth, they're going to put the big fella in. We haven't seen Rivers back in the backfield yet, or Mims.
Hockett goes about 225. The other two backs you referenced, Rivers about 175, Jordan Mims about 190. Hockett, and he's tripped up right around the sticks. Carl Granderson will get credit for the tackle. Let's take a look again at those West standings. Fresno State was picked dead last by the media in the preseason. Shows you how much the media knows, right?
Absolutely.
7-3 after winning one game last year. They went 1-11, and their most impressive win was 27-3 down in San Diego over the Aztecs.
And that was a straight beatdown. I mean, they stuffed the Aztecs' run game, didn't allow them to do anything.
3rd and short. Hockett, first down. Ran into the arms of Gaffon, Johanna Gaffon, who's a sophomore from Grand Island, Nebraska, but they'll move the chains, and that's the first down for either school. Here's the preseason poll that we were alluding to in the West. San Diego State naturally was picked first. Hawaii was picked next.
Where'd that come from? Who picked Hawaii second?
UNLV was picked third. UNLV had a nice win last night against New Mexico. This is Damari Scott, and he gets 9. He's a guy that Jeff Tedford and Kalen DeBoer, the offensive coordinator, they want to get him a lot of touches.
In different ways, whether it be screens, jet sweeps like here. He's a guy in space that's extremely explosive and one of the fastest guys on the field.
And they'll get another first down. Hockett's got good feet.
That was,
and this time it was Jordan Mims.
Right.
He has good feet also.
I'll tell you what, and another, we look at the defense for Wyoming, how young they are. This offense has a lot of youth making big-time plays and playing big-time minutes for the Fresno State Bulldogs.
Another first down. McMarion now out of the pistol. Mims stays in the ball game. McMarion wants to take a shot on a post or on a corner route. He's got a man down on the 9-yard line. That is one of his tight ends, Jared Rice, sophomore from Modesto.
It's a nice little seam route, smash seam route on the outside. Good play fake. Takes his time, sees it, but the protection bought everything for him. A nice throw and a good hands catch there from Jared Rice.
And the nose of the football inside the 10, so it is 1st and goal for Fresno State on their second possession of the game. Johnson in the slot into the boundary. Mims grabbed right away by Wingard, who was hanging around the line of scrimmage.
Get a look at these tailbacks for the Fresno State Bulldogs. All young, 2 freshmen and a sophomore. These guys are outstanding players and extremely talented in a bunch of different areas of the game.
And Rivers and Mims, both true freshmen. Rivers the most dynamic. He's a guy who can hit a home run.
Oh yeah, from anywhere on the field. Spin the backer down, man free.
And that pass low for Johnson.
You're getting a lot of looks of man free coverage here. Got to find a way to take advantage of it.
So it'll be 3rd and goal from the 9. You know, McMarion is an interesting guy because he has the ability to run the football. He has the ability to tuck it down if he doesn't see a receiver, but he rarely does that.
Rarely. He's a move to throw guy. He's not a move to run guy. He's a move to throw guy. Wants to throw it.
Hockett back in at the running back. And McMarion throws a fade, and it is incomplete. He was trying to get the football to Damari Scott, who had a step. So Fresno State will bring on Jimmy Camacho.
This ball gets a little bit away from you. See it start to slide away from the receiver, who left himself plenty of field out there to run that fade route. Talked about the weather, the wind.
Jimmy Camacho has been real good this year. 17 out of 21. And this one is right down the middle. So Fresno State takes the early lead on a 27-yard field goal. Warren Laramie, 8:17 to go first quarter.
Every 2 minutes in the U.S., a drunk driving crash ends with an injury. Every 60 minutes, drunk driving ends with a death. Every day in Wyoming, people choose to drive impaired, a choice that ends with disrupted lives, broken bodies, and the loss of family and friends. Where will drunk driving end for you? It's time.
Myaiki.com for details.
Here's today's CenturyLink High-Speed Challenge. Go to AT&T Sportsnet RM to cast your vote. Who will win the Mountain West Championship game? 4 candidates. Boise State, they're in the driver's seat in the Mountain. And Fresno State, they're in the driver's seat in the West. With a win, they get there. As you look at Craig Bowl. Craig Bowl was so excited about this game. Weather, his home turf, 2 great defenses, a sluggo, hit you in the mouth game. I mean, he wanted to play it yesterday.
Like, he literally lit up and almost started sweating when he was talking about it. It was great.
So Wyoming will get the football to 25 after the touchback. Let's go back to Josh Allen's injury last week against Air Force. It was late in the second quarter, and he took a hit. It didn't look like much at the time. In fact, Allen stayed in the football game, played a really strong first half, but did not play in the second half. And all week long they said it was a game-time decision. He is dressed out, but he never was on the field during warm-ups throwing the football.
No, not at all. You know, you talk about those soft tissue injuries, especially up around the shoulder. You get those contusions in there, it could be hard to work those things out.
Kellen Overstreet out of the I. They run power, and on the lead, he gets about 3 yards. Overstreet, he's a kind of a typical Wyoming running back, typical Craig Bowl running back, as Jeffrey Allison, number 9, made the tackle. 215 to 230 pounds. That's the guy he wants dotting the I.
It is. It took them weeks and weeks to get to that point. You know, they were changing the lineup. Milo Hall was getting most of the carries early in the season, but Trey Woods and Kellen Overstreet have taken over, and this team has just turned the power game upside down.
Underneath throw, and it's complete. That's Conway, and it is going to be about 3 yards shy of a first down. First catch for Conway, the sophomore from Overland High School down in Aurora, Colorado.
It's a good, accurate throw. I'd like to see James Price take an outside release to try and protect his slot receiver there. He takes an inside release, allows the defensive back to have his eyes on the quarterback and the route coming right to him. Just those little things that matter that can help your guys out.
Nico Evans, a third down back, is next to Smith. Fresno State brings 4, good blitz pickup, and that throws is incomplete. Jeffrey Allison separated the football from John Akawali, and it'll be 3 and out again for Wyoming.
Akawali's got to find a way to pull that ball, and everybody's got to do a little extra. Everybody's got to do a little more of their share when you're playing with a backup quarterback. Nobody really open there. He's trying to fit one in a window, giving you an opportunity as a player to make a play for him. You got to somehow try and come up with that ball.
So Zaleski will punt the football around his own 20. Keyshawn Johnson will have a chance to return this one, perhaps, on a hop at the 21. He put a knee down. Fresno State has a 3-0 lead, 6:48 to play, opening quarter.
Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game, or in today's extended classroom, impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
It's a stage where champions are crowned and legends are born.
Touchdown!
12 teams chasing one goal, the 2017 Mountain West Football Championship.
Intercepted!
A season-long quest for a reward that's as big as a mountain.
What a game!
Bragging rights and conference supremacy will be on the line on December 2nd, and the big game could be coming to your city. Follow your team's pursuit of the championship at themw.com.
First, a chance to. Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game, or in today's extended classroom, impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
Mountain West football on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Dodge Ram, Guts Glory Ram, and by the Moab Travel Council. Begin your Moab adventure. Plan your trip at discovermoab.com. Fresno State 3-0. During the commercial break, they penalized Fresno State 10 yards for running after a fair catch. This is terrible. He's just saying get away from the ball. He didn't put a knee down. I thought he put a knee down. That's why they had blown it dead.
Hands never went over the head. Hands below the waist, telling his guys to scatter, scatter. Terrible. That's a bad call.
Yep, that's exactly.
There's no easier way to put it.
No, there's no other way to describe that. And it cost Fresno State
10 yards.
A lot more than 10 yards because he was going to probably return it at least 10 yards. So now they're backed up at their own 13. Ronnie Rivers is in the backfield. And this is Rivers on the keep. And Rivers to the 21-yard line. They run a little wildcat.
You see the patience in the hole, and there's a couple players had chances to get to him. But good seal and a great move there.
Marcus Epps, part of that safety tandem with Andrew Wingard, made the tackle, and Epps is terrific as well. He gets overshadowed by Wingard, but Epps is a fine player. He had a great pick last week against Air Force. Second and short, McMarion back in under center, or thereabouts, if you will, out of the gun, and they'll have the first down. This is Rivers. Let's get an update on the conditions field level from Brad Thompson. Brad?
Guys, when they cleared off the field, there was still some snow and ice in the turf. with the sun on it right now, it has gone away, except for the far end zone. That south end zone, it is still very slick down there. It's in the shadows of the scoreboard, so keep an eye on when they're down there, but the rest of the field's in great shape.
And Brad, the notorious wind up here hasn't reared its head yet, has it?
It hasn't. It's not blowing too bad down here at all. Less than 10 miles an hour for sure.
First down out above the 26-yard line for Fresno State. And McMarion evidently didn't get what he thought he was getting from the sideline, or was unclear, and burns the timeout. And now Reyna, who's the backup quarterback, third string, I should say, Jorge Reyna, he's saying, remember when I do the church steeple, that means we're going empty?
The church steeple's not empty. That's power.
Is that power?
That's power.
Maybe that was the
string.
confusion.
String.
Well, Marcus McMarion, he showed up from Corvallis after, you have to get cleared. He graduated. He's a graduate transfer, but he wasn't there for the first day of practice. In fact, ostensibly, he missed almost 3 weeks. Learned the playbook pretty quickly, and a couple weeks in, he was a starting quarterback.
And what they've been able to do with him, it's been amazing, and it's a testament to his willingness to bear down and learn.
With a blocker, Rivers, and he's going to pick up about 5 or 6. Ran into Logan Wilson finally, and usually when you run into number 30 and Brown, the play ends.
Well, he's going to go over 100 tackles for the season today. Just a nose for the ball, exceptional athlete. Came in as a cornerback, a DB, so he still runs extremely well. Just a sophomore, young guy, plays with enthusiasm, playing on his favorite team, growing up, being a local guy.
Yep, he's from Casper.
It's his dream.
Hokett. And Hokett, with the size, moves the pile a little bit, close to a first down. It'll be a little bit short. Javari Jackson will get credit for the tackle, number 86, and he'll go out. Javari, a true freshman from Wisconsin.
Fresno State going fast. They've got a trio of receivers out here.
Hokett runs into Wilson, but he got enough.
Chess match continues between Kalen DeBoer and Scott Hazelton. Kalen DeBoer's had his way with Wyoming over the last few years at Eastern Michigan when he was offense coordinator there. Once here and once down in Ypsilanti.
Mims now in there running back, and he cannot elude Robert Priester off the edge. Priester flipped him for a loss.
That's his second big tackle coming off the boundary. No one out there, you got to bring your own blocker. Priester gets into him before he can make any moves. That's a nice job.
Third tackle for a loss this year for Priester, the senior from Tampa. Not many seniors on this Wyoming defense.
I thought you were going to say not many seniors from Tampa.
Yeah,
Tampa.
What was it? They brought him up in July on the recruiting trip. Mims, and not a lot doing there. Adam Pillapil got him around the legs, and it'll be third down and long. Well, if you play for Craig Bowl, this goes all the way back to when he was in Nebraska. He was a defensive back in Nebraska, coached under the legendary Tom Osborne. You're going to be physical. You are going to be this, the punter, the kicker, they have to be physical. Everybody's got to be physical. 3rd and 9. Crowd getting involved. And that's complete to Johnson, but 3 yards short of a first down. Brought off the corner. Wingard picked up Johnson. They brought a corner blitz.
Yeah, they ran the blitz into the boundary. You got to be aware of that. And you always throw into the face of it, but because it got there so quick, Keyshawn Johnson was not able to get his depth or get enough depth for that first down.
Blake Cusick will punt. Austin Conway back at his 20. And this one is going to just roll in to the end zone. A touchback.
For 53 yards.
So it's a punt of 53 yards, but a net of 33. 3-0 Fresno State. And again, we did not expect a lot of points to be scored in this game because, well, go back to September 30th. Fresno State's second in the country to Alabama, who's number one in everything in the nation right now, and Wyoming fourth in the nation in relinquishing points. You just can't score against these two schools.
No, they've been solid since September 30th. They've been extremely solid. And you look at Fresno State's record, their 2 losses on the road at Alabama, or 2 of their 3 losses on the road at Alabama, on the road at Washington.
Those were two of our playoff teams from a year ago. Smith goes play action, now rolls, and on a comeback, he's got a first down. To the 33-yard lines, he finds Austin Conway. That's his 46th catch of the year.
It's a really good job on the option route. See him come out. Conway's able to get to space. You have an outside receiver running the go route up top to blow the top off of it. Plenty of room for Conway to operate. And that's how you get Nick Smith going. Get him out in space. He's a good athlete. You see there throwing on the run accurately.
That's the initial first down of the game for the Pokes. And Helmuth goes helmet to helmet with Trey Woods. Pickup of about 4 yards. Trey Woods, 6'3", 210-pounder, a true freshman from North Bend, Oregon. And Helmuth is a junior from Fresno, a former walk-on. They gave him a scholarship because he kept denting helmets.
and showing up on film.
Conway, and Conway will keep on the Wildcat, will have a first down. James Bailey made the tackle. So both schools have taken one of their best athletes and put him in the Wildcat and then run read option with him.
Absolutely, and Conway, a former quarterback, took his team to the playoffs at Oberlin down in the Denver area, so he understands that type of game. That was one of his strengths, was that zone read package.
And Smith wide of James Price, incomplete. Going back to Conway, fascinating story. You saw him a lot in Denver as a kid. He's a tremendous athlete. You mentioned his quarterback exploits, but he initially came to Wyoming as a basketball player on scholarship. He played 1 year for Larry Chiat. He enjoyed himself, but he said, I miss football. And he went and talked to Craig Bowl, and he said, okay, you can come out. And now he's a football player. He's not playing hoop anymore.
It worked out for everybody. That's awesome because he's a good kid.
Overstreet to midfield. That'll set up third down and manageable. Helmuth again with the tackle.
You know, there's all kind of stories about, you know, those kind of guys like the Helmuth, on the other side, Logan Wilson, guys that weren't scholarship, came in, earned scholarships. There's a ton of these kind of stories.
Yep, and they're fun to tell. 15 minutes done in Laramie. It's been physical. We've had a field goal. That's all. Fresno State leading 3-0.
Larry H. Miller Lakewood Ford is selling down all 2017 models with truly extraordinary deals.
The 2017 models are going fast. I don't have anywhere to hide.
If you want an extraordinary deal, get here before the 2017s are all gone.
We are Lakewood Ford.
Driven by you.
Skipper, let's see what the Colonel got you.
Okay.
On.
We are Lakewood Ford.
Driven by you.
Welcome back to Laramie, Wyoming. The Fresno State Bulldogs up 3-0. Out on the field defensively, number 9, Jeffrey Allison, middle linebacker. This guy's the leading tackler. Defensive coordinator Coach Steinauer says he's a real head thumper, very aggressive, but he's also a scholar athlete, majoring in criminology with an emphasis in law enforcement. To have a scholar athlete, you got to have over 3.5 GPA. He's getting done on and off the field.
Well, first snap, Brad, of the second quarter. Drew a bunch of flags, which fortunately we didn't have many in the first quarter. And
Ball start.
that's costly.
Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Wyoming on their first 2 drives went just 6 yards. This drive, they had moved to 30 yards. They had a 3rd down and 4. Now it's 3rd and 9 coming out of the quarter break.
Well, new quarterback, new cadence, sounds different, kind of fluctuates different.
Tight bunch formation left, and they run a screen. There's room, and that should be enough for a first down. James Bailey tackled Trey Woods. They ran a little middle screen. They needed 9, and I believe, well, you know where their spot comes in now.
Looks like they got it.
It's really close. I thought he had it, and the crowd thought he had it.
I think he's going to have it. That's a good call, and you got to give Trey Woods credit. He put his nose down and went right for that thing. Didn't try to make any fancy moves.
My guess is that if he's a foot short or 6 inches short, Craig Bohl's going to keep his offense out there and go for it. Wow. By the proverbial nose of the football, how about the literal nose of the football, right?
How about all the players?
Well, here's our freshman standout, brought to you by Jimmy John's, Trey Woods. He picked it up.
Saw all the guys on the Bulldog defense. Thought there was space between those chain links.
Yeah. He was in the end zone last week, Woods, against Air Force. Overstreet. Boy, he got a really good block up front by Gavin Rush, the left guard from Phillips, Nebraska, the 300-pound sophomore. Drove his man to the second level, and thus a gain of 6, maybe 7. This old school, man, 36, Drew Van Manen is a fullback. You don't see many of those guys anymore. 240-plus pounds.
No socks, no sleeves, neck roll.
And he just ran into a linebacker, which he loves to do. That'll be a half a yard shy there for Overstreet. 3rd down and
look at that. No socks, no sleeves.
If they still wore the neck collar today, he'd have a neck collar right?
He would have the roll.
We were talking last night at dinner about Larry Zonka. He'd have, what'd you call it, the upside down U to protect the nose. He's playing in the wrong era. They're going to run a little option. And unless he stepped out, well, he may have. Overstreet marked out of bounds for no gain.
It's always tough to do that into the boundary. If you can't get yourself turned upfield fast enough. Look at James Bailey doing a nice job forcing the edge. There's a hold there on him. And I'm not so sure he didn't get that. But
you know what? I think that's a bad spot.
Yeah, I'm not so sure he didn't get a review.
They're going to look at it.
Caden Jackson got away with a hold on James Bailey there.
Fresno State last week, they were in Hawaii and they won 31-21 and said you were a West Coast athlete. I don't care what you draw up in theory, it is hard to go there and play and then recover and get ready to play the following week.
Well, especially, polar opposites with conditions and weather and just travel. And then they get up this morning to come down for the game. They got to wait. They're on the bus longer for almost an hour and a half longer than they should have been trying to get down here. A lot of things went against.
They had to shorten their pregame.
Right.
Normally, guys will be out about an hour and a half before at least. They didn't get out on the field en masse until about 55 minutes before they were going to gather for the opening kickoff.
You know, as a guy that was heavily into routines, that would mess me up for a while because I've got to have my stuff regimented. I had my road routine, I had my home routine.
Yep.
It would mess you up for a little while, but they've come out well.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called.
Well, that's interesting. So it'll be 4th down and about a yard to go for Wyoming from the plus 37-yard line.
The thing is, there wasn't enough evidence to change it. That's why it stands. They couldn't see exactly where he started his slide and where he finished it. But I thought it was a little bit short. A short mark that they gave him. I thought he had another yard.
Smith's going to take it himself. He's not going to get there. He is not going to get close. It was George Helmuth, Jeffrey Allison as well. And Fresno State turns away Wyoming on the 10th play of the drive.
We told you, folks, if you want to see defense, this is the place. George Helmuth just picks the right gap. Watch him fire right through. Nick Smith goes away from his center at guard. They had a nice little wedge there. All he has to do is stay right behind him, see him pick the left side. There's no one there, and Helmuth at home being responsible and is able to finish Smith off.
So they turn it over on downs. Fresno State with a 3-0 lead will have it at their own 37. Pretty good field position. McMarion with the dangerous Ronnie Rivers to his right. Throw it in the flat to Rivers. He's one-on-one with Wingard. Ball comes out. Has Wyoming done it again with a takeaway?
Still don't know yet. Wingard takes a stiff arm to the chops and still strips the ball. This is taking too long. Anytime it takes this long, it's going to stay with, it's probably going to end up staying with Fresno State.
Brad Van Vark is our referee. And
the ruling on the field is a completed pass, a fumble recovered by the defense. First down.
Well, usually I agree with you, Sed. When it takes a long time, they give it back to the offense. Seemed like the ball was tied up. But Wyoming now plus 18 in turnover margin this year.
Look at him punch it out. He just strips it. I mean, he strips it out and makes a tackle. You wonder why he's getting so much attention, folks. I mean, that is an outstanding play. That's a great play.
This kid is something else. He's 210 pounds. He wasn't recruited by virtually anybody. Colorado State. He's right down the road from CU. And not only is he a candidate for Mountain West Conference Defensive Player of the Year, he's a preseason Defensive Player of the Year. He's a really strong candidate to play on Sundays.
I think so. I mean, he's just, his mindset and his mentality, you know, and I've spoken to him several times, but this is just one of those special type plays. He gets a stiff arm, still reaches in and is able to pull it out of there to stay locked in. But speaking with this guy, like, one of his favorite players is Eric Weddle, another little guy that wasn't, you know, wasn't going to catch it with his size.
He was better known in high school for his exploits running the football.
Yeah, don't remind me. He's torched us a few times.
Said a high school coach down in the Denver area.
That's a fumble. I mean, that's.
I guess what they're looking at here now is
And
whether
he
the
is
Wyoming
laying out of
player
bounds. Oh, my
was out
goodness.
of bounds when he made the recovery. I don't know about you. I've been thinking about this. Well, you know I've been thinking about this a lot because you and I over many meals have talked about this, but now we're going to share it with everybody else. The last 5-6 weeks between the NFL and college football, the number of reviews, not to mention the number of flags, I think almost there's too many rules now, but the number of reviews has slowed the pace, the tempo, quite frankly, the enjoyment at times of the game. And I think something has to be done. I think if an official sees it on the field as such, we can't review everything. Because now, it took them about 3 minutes to determine who they thought had the ball. There's going to be 10 minutes between football plays.
Well, where were we a couple weeks ago? We were sitting there watching, was that the USC game? And there was like USC Arizona.
Yes.
And it was like every other play was reviewed. That second half took so long. And again, what are they going to do? They're going to change the channel and go to the next game. They're going to go watch the next game. They're going to find the next game. It's done in the right interest. They're trying to get things right.
But you know what?
But there's got to be a better way to do it.
Did you enjoy the game 20, 30 years ago?
I enjoyed it 40 years ago. When I was 10 years old.
That's right.
I mean, come on.
We've enjoyed it for a number of years, and at times part of the narrative was there was a missed call. And
sometimes that brought on heartbreak.
That's right.
It's just part of it. That's part of sports.
Listen,
it brings on heartbreak.
Jackie Smith famously dropped the ball in the end zone, right? It's played by humans. It's officiated by humans. We can't make it perfect. And to me, I'd rather see, okay, it was judged that way on the field. Most of the time, those guys are right. They train hard. They work hard at it.
Yeah.
And the players train hard. They work hard. But to have a 10-minute break, I mean, they're still down on the far 20-yard line having a discussion with the replay booth. And it's not to knock those guys. They're doing what they're told. They're trying to get it right. But I think something needs to change for the flow, not only at the collegiate level, but at the National Football League level.
For flow,
well.
exactly what you said, flow. There is no flow. A lot of games end up starting well, but they get choppy as soon as you get a couple calls and a couple challenges.
Both teams are going to go back to the goal line and break into sprints like they do coming out for the second half to warm up again.
It's going to.
After review, it was a completed pass and a fumble. However, the defense recovered it while touching out of bounds. Therefore, it is a forward fumble out of bounds. The ball will be placed at the 36-yard line. It'll be Fresno's ball.
It's a good call. It's the right call.
So ball is out. That's clear. And then the guy on the right of your screen.
Right here, his body is laying out of bounds. You see that? There's a sideline. Both those guys' bodies are laying out of bounds.
I don't know if that was Jalen Ortiz. Hard to tell numbers in there. Actually, it was Malawia and Tyler Hall in there. It was 9. Tyler Hall, I think, whose leg was out of bounds, not 8, Jalen Ortiz. So Wingard made a great play. Nearly caused another turnover. 2nd and 11 for Fresno State. Mims, McMarion, and Kyle Rittering, the tight end, lines up in the backfield. Wyoming with pressure. And there's Wingard, and they're going to call.
Come on.
That's it. Yeah, man.
He slid late.
Yep.
He slid late.
Slid late. When you're going full speed,
you can't stop yourself. That's not a good call.
It's not.
I don't even need to see it again.
He's going full speed, and hopefully they turn this around. We've seen Cruz do that. McMarion slid late, and so then it looks like
Personal foul, targeting number 28 of the defense. That play is under further review.
Wingard has a lot of character in him. He's a high character kid, but he's also very outspoken. You saw he kind of waved his hands in disgust.
Like he's going with the shoulder.
Yeah,
and it was a late slide. Watch, he's already launching right there. And it's a shoulder. It's not even a helmet. Like you can't stop yourself full speed. You can't stop yourself.
Yeah, that's not a personal foul for me.
Me either. I mean, I'm a quarterback, but you can't slide late. That's like his shoulder. It's a late slide and a shoulder.
I'm all about protecting the head, and I know you are, Sad, but this is a collision sport. It's not a contact sport, it's a violent sport. And the intent there.
For targeting, third down.
So no foul for targeting, and it is third down, so they get it right. And that happened last week in a game, or was it 2 weeks ago in a game we were doing where they picked up a flag. And that's exactly as it should work upstairs.
That's how the process works. He's moving full speed, and a guy slides late. And it wasn't, I mean, no helmet, no malice. Just trying to let him know he's around. I mean, this is
and you also,
tough game.
And now you understand what we're saying is not hyperbole, why the NFL likes this kid a lot. He's everywhere. 6 foot, 210 pounds. Third down and 11 for Fresno State. Twin receivers each way. Bulldogs leading 3-0. Wyoming drops 7. And Keyshawn Johnson with a minimal gain. That Wyoming defense rises to the occasion. Tyler Hall with the initial contact. Logan Wilson finished him off. And after the disappointment for the Pokes in not getting the turnover, they do get a 3-and-out.
He's got his tight end right here. He elects to go the other way to the crossing route.
You know what? I love it. Great sportsmanship. Tap on the chest plate from Wingard. Marion, he probably said something along the lines, I know you weren't headhunting there. And this ball's dropped. Recovered by Fresno State. Austin Conway muffed it. And Fresno State with a huge opportunity here in the second quarter.
He's looking up into the sun, trying to make that play, but takes his eyes off of George Helmuth. Again, making a play. When you got guys bearing down on you, you got to focus and have that kind of...
We got a flag down. I didn't see the flag.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the receiving team. Holding number 5, that penalty is declined. Holding number 92, that penalty is declined. The result of the play is a recovery by the kicking team after a touch, first down.
And Austin Conway couldn't hold the football. So,
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Yeah, you understand that? So, very clever. Not bad. It's cold out. Give me time. I'll get better. So they'll get the football at the 21-yard line, and that's what Conway was looking up into, as said reference.
Extremely bright. Trying to find that and then keep your eye focused on the ball and the guys coming down on you.
Ronnie Rivers is in the game. We've seen 3 tailbacks. McMarion toward the end zone. Touchdown. It's Rivers out of the backfield. Ronnie Rivers, touchdown Fresno State. Great delivery from Marcus McMarion. His 12th touchdown strike of the year. Got him on a linebacker.
Got him on out of the backfield. It's a corner route from the backfield. It takes a long time, so you got to give kudos to that offensive line.
That was Lucas Wilson in cover, or Logan Wilson in coverage.
I mean, how often do you see a back come out of the backfield and run a corner route on you? So for him, he's probably expecting some kind of angle route or inside cut quicker or a quick out route, not a deeper corner route.
And Camacho makes it 10-0. Dead silence in Laramie. The one play after the turnover, McMarion to Rivers, touchdown Fresno.
Being bold means rising up. So actions in the game, or in today's extended classroom, nurture the critical thinking skills, the disciplines that go beyond the scoreboard or academic rankings to impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. That's the purpose that binds us. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit. Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game, or in today's extended classroom, impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
For Jazz basketball.
10-0 Fresno State. They take advantage of the muffed punt by Austin Conway. So the Bulldogs off this throw from McMarion as we look at our connection to the game, brought to you by Union Wireless. Hits his back, Ronnie Rivers.
That's a great throw, great concept route. Just put one into the flat, your tight end runs to the flat, you get Rivers straight upfield on the linebacker. He's got a two-way go there, and that was an excellent throw and catch.
So let's see if Wyoming can answer now, again with the backup quarterback, Nick Smith. Josh Allen not playing today. He was hurt late in the first half against Air Force. There was action in the Mountain West last night. Congrats to Coach Sanchez and the Running Rebels. That's in hoops, but the Rebels, UNLV 38-35 over Bob Davies' New Mexico Lobos. New Mexico got better news today. Congrats to the Lobos, they're national champions in cross country. The women captured in the national championship.
It's outstanding
this morning. Congrats to the Lobo ladies. This is Conway, and Helmuth didn't make the tackle, but he made him bow wide. And coming up was Tank Kelly from his corner spot.
It's an excellent job. Again, both these teams, we talked about them being very disciplined. They're going to stay home. So if you're going to get them, you're going to have to get them with something designed extremely well, blocked extremely well. They're not going to get caught within any of the fly sweeps. These teams are very disciplined and play that brand of defense.
And a minimal gain here, maybe a yard for Trey Woods. Helmuth around the football again.
Well, that guy just has a nose for it.
You know, we should point out also, even with Josh Allen, as great and as talented as Josh Allen is, they lost so much production last year to graduation. Brian Hill, he's in the NFL. Tanner Gentry, he's in the NFL with the Bears. Jake Mulhart had a great career. Jacob Hollister's a tight end with the Patriots now. They didn't just lose guys who were productive at the collegiate level. These guys are earning a paycheck now. So this Wyoming offense, they have 7 wins. That's dropped by James Price. It's going to be 3 and out. They have 7 wins, but it's been an opportunistic offense. They've done it because they were plus 17 coming in. Their offense has been one of the poorer offenses production-wise in the Mountain West.
The worst. They rank last in offense in the Mountain West, but playing with short fields, understanding that they had to utilize a power rushing attack, and that includes throwing your quarterback in the mix as well. Learning how to play that way is what's enabled them to kind of go on this run.
I mean, it's really a tribute to Craig Bowl and his kids, because when you look statistically at their offense, and college football has become all about offense, you think, well, they're having a terrible year. But defense, what they've done, taking the football.
Being bold means rising up. So actions in the game, or in today's extended classroom, nurture the critical thinking skills, the disciplines that go beyond the scoreboard or academic rankings to impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. That's the purpose that binds us. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit. Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game, or in today's extended classroom, impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
It's a stage where champions are crowned and legends are born.
Touchdown!
12 teams chasing one goal, the 2017 Mountain West Football Championship.
Intercepted!
A season-long quest for a reward that's as big as a mountain.
What a game!
Bragging rights and conference supremacy will be on the line on December 2nd, and the big game could be coming to your city. Follow your team's pursuit of the championship at themw.com.
World. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
10-0 Fresno State here in Laramie. And Jeff Tedford, he's a Bulldog through and through, was a quarterback in 81 and 82. One of his favorite targets, Henry Ellard. Look at those numbers, almost 3,000 receiving yards. He also had a great pro career, 1,300 yards receiving in the NFL, 16-year career. And the connection between that team and this team, they're both +6 in win differential from the season ago. So Coach Tedford sees a lot of similarities between this team and that one back in 1982.
I'm going to mention another name for you as Mims takes the football and he's got nowhere to run, and now a shower of flags. Carl Granderson made the tackle on Jordan Mims. Looked like there was a hold also.
I think of Micah St. Andrew.
David Patterson, 78.
Here.
Crossed his face. He had no option, huh?
Yeah, but you bury him down. You cross your face, you just run him down. You don't have to grab him, you just drive him down.
Fresno State back at their own 14. Mims, a couple. So I want to go back to what Brad was talking about, the great turnaround when Jeff Tedford was quarterback at Fresno State. They were co-players of the year in the PCAA, the old PCAA. Yes. You grew up watching that,
Fullerton,
right?
Fullerton, all those schools. You know,
well, Henry Ellard, along with Coach Tedford. Let's not leave out Stephon Page, who was a free agent, went on to a long and productive career in the NFL. He was the other wideout.
They've had some players, man, come through Fresno. And I remember us being a kid in my first year in college, going up there and watching them play. The crowd was crazy. It was a great atmosphere. And they kind of brought that back this year.
Mims again. And a few more this time. Out to about the 26-yard line. Wingard there defensively. It'll be 3rd down and 9. 8:27 with the clock moving to go in the first half. Fresno State leading 10-0 to 7-3 schools. Trips near side.
I think they're going to bring Epps here. And Wingard's going to take man-to-man coverage, so you might have a shot if Epps comes right here.
He's their best blitzer. Wyoming has 6 on the line of scrimmage. Epps comes, he's picked up. McMarion has a man complete, and it came out late.
Jameer Jordan, great effort. Some great effort. Just need to hang it up, put a little more air on it. That was a great effort by Jameer Jordan, but they got just what they wanted. You've got man coverage. The first over route takes the safety. Jameer Jordan on the outside, wide open, just can't run it down. Gets his hands on it and can't finish the play.
I'm sure if you ask Jameer after the ball game, it's probably one he'll say he should catch. Austin Conway will look into that sun again, back at his own 35. Blake Cusick, the punter. Set up a return, and a fair catch called for by Conway at the 29-yard line. Wyoming will have it. They're down 10-0 at home in Laramie.
Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game, or in today's extended classroom, impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit. Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game, or in today's extended classroom, nurture the critical thinking skills, the disciplines, that go beyond the scoreboard or academic rankings to impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. That's the purpose that binds us. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
What was that?
10-0 Fresno State. Josh Allen not playing today, hurt his shoulder last week. He wants to play every week, but he really wanted to play this week because he's from just outside of Fresno, and it still miffs him. He's from Firebaugh, California. It still miffs him that not only did Fresno State not recruit him, he called their football offices and said, hey, I'm down the road. They still did not have interest. Well, suffice it to say, Fresno State's among a lot of schools that missed on Josh Allen, who's projected to go in the first round next April in the NFL draft as a junior. And this is Overstreet for a few.
Drew, that's the other reason why you know he's really not able to go today. You know what I mean? Because that burns in everybody. When somebody tells you you're not good enough, it burns in you for a long time. You got a chance to go out and exact some revenge.
And folks, if you have not seen him throw the football and you wonder what's all the fuss about, first of all, he's 6'5" and he's close to 240 pounds. He's really athletic. We watched the tape last week against the Air Force, man. In that first half, you talk about spinning fastballs.
On target. And that to me has improved. His numbers don't show it, but his accuracy has improved this year.
He virtually has a whole new cast, as we were discussing a moment ago.
Young cast that he's had to try and get ready.
And the coaching staff, we were talking, to Brent Vegan about him, the offensive coordinator. He said in every way he's better than a year ago, but the stats don't necessarily show it. And every week there's a multitude of scouts in attendance at Wyoming games to check out Josh Allen, among others. Several NFL prospects. This is complete, but short of a first down. Conway makes the catch, and Tank Kelly with a big hit. So Smith,
there's nothing keeping Tank Kelly honest.
The field again.
Nothing keeping Tank Kelly honest on that. You're just running a vertical outside with an inside option route. There's nothing keeping him honest. Until you take a shot and force Tank Kelly to stay with his man, that's going to happen every single time.
He's a pretty good cornerback too, Tank Kelly.
He really is, and he's the greatest nickname ever.
Yeah, he's appropriately nicknamed too because he's stout at 5'10", close to 190 pounds. And the punt goes back toward Wyoming, so it takes a Fresno State hop. 31-yard line is where Fresno State will put it in play. Last week they went Thursday to Honolulu, getting ready for the Saturday nighttime game against Hawaii. And one of the things they were able to do, which is so special, is to visit Pearl Harbor and to see the USS Arizona. So an opportunity for a little bit of an education as well on that trip last week for Fresno State. Again, a 10-point win against the Rainbow Warriors. Then they got back at 9 the next morning, Sunday morning, back to Fresno. They normally will have a light practice Sunday. They wiped that out. Damari Scott, and he's going to lose 2 yards. And it is Logan Wilson. Listen, if you say it's going to, if you close your eyes and say, I bet you it's Wingard or Wilson, you're probably going to be right about 80% of the time.
Maybe 85. I mean, there's some other players out there that are great, but 2 guys fly around, 28 and 30, a little bit quicker than everybody else.
Wilson, he's a Mike backer at 230, but said he runs like he's a DB.
He really does. Andrew Wingard showed his hand a little bit too early there, coming off to something else.
Timeout was called before the snap.
Prior to the snap, Fresno State takes their second time out of the half. It'll be 30 seconds in length.
So again, a year ago, Fresno State won 1 football game. They were picked last this year in the Western Division of the Mountain West, and they've improved by 6 games and counting, which is the best in college football. Arizona with Tate at quarterback, they're +4. Florida Atlantic. Jeff Tedford, this was just a slam dunk fit for the former Cal coach.
Absolutely.
Played at Fresno. He's got one of his kids on the coaching staff now. It's really a homecoming for him.
It really is, and I think just knowing the terrain, knowing the area, I think he's such an easygoing guy, but he burns with that competitive nature that you need, and they trust him there in the Valley to get it right.
Rivers is now the quarterback. McMarion flanks out, and Rivers, with his speed, will get about 3 or 4 knocked off his feet by Rico Gafford. You know, there's actually 21 coaches in college football that are coaching their alma mater. There's 4 in the Mountain West. Troy Calhoun down in Colorado Springs. He's a former cadet.
Matt Wells.
Matt Wells at Utah State. Brian Harsin went to Boise State. You have 2 of the finest and most respected coaches in college football in this game today with Jeff Tedford and Craig Bohl. McMarion, all kinds of time in on the
perfect
skinny
defense.
Post. Epps arrived right when the football did. It'll be 4th down.
And I'm going to call this a late throw. He's late, and the route has to bend a little more. You've got a safety over you on the hash. You've got to attack. As soon as you wrap this guy, you've got to get in at this angle, flatter, and the ball has to come out as soon as he gets beyond the backer that's trying to wall him upfield.
Is that where the post should have become a dig?
You got to get flat quickly. Be underneath that guy. He's sitting right there. You got to get underneath it.
Conway, fair catch. There's 4:02 left with Wyoming trailing at home 10-0 to Fresno State. Coming up on the halftime report, brought to you by Ram. We'll get a chance to sit down with both Josh Allen and Andrew Wingard. Check news and notes from around the Mountain West, and of course highlights and statistics from the first 30 minutes. Said, I got to ask you, I mean, Nick Smith, obviously 2 years ago played a little bit. Last week he got a half of football in against Air Force. Do you have to open it up a little bit more?
You got to give them chances. I mean, if you want to come out and win this game, but they've played strong, and you've got the big tight end in there running the Wildcat now.
Conway, and he'll get about 3, maybe 4. They have one play, said, over 10 yards in this game. They have a 13-yard pass to Conway. That's it.
They're just trying to find that rhythm. They've got to find the rhythm. But I think at times, if you want to move him, get him outside the pocket, because he's athletic enough. Speaking of Nick Smith, you got to do it. Get him outside. That 13-yard pass was off of a waggle with a comeback outside. Get him outside the pocket and let him run around a bit.
Overstreet, and it's hard to run against Fresno State. It's about 3. It'll be 3rd down and a couple. Fresno State, again, the number 2 scoring defense in the Mountain West, behind Wyoming by 1/10 of a point, 15th in the nation.
Malik Forrester.
Big Malik Forrester is down on the ground still for the Bulldogs, the 295-pound senior from Annapolis, Maryland. Fresno State last week in Hawaii against Hawaii offense that can move the ball, held them to 272 yards in total offense.
So it speaks volumes about the standard that they're trying to create, and that's what their motto is. The standard is the standard. But to be able to go down to Hawaii and be focused enough to really play and execute in a game that far away from home, to be able to come up here and put a first half together like this. You haven't been that pretty offensively, but your defense has played solid.
And have your normal routine interrupted because you got here late with the road closure on I-80 coming over from Cheyenne. 3rd down and short, and Smith will have the first down. Clock moves inside 3 minutes to play in the first half. Wyoming has its full complement of timeouts. Helmet the tackle. Nick Smith grew up in Merritt Island, Florida. Played his baseball growing up on Clint Hurdle Field. Clint's from Merritt Island. Got a man across the 50, first down. It is Fort, Austin Fort, the junior from Gillette, Wyoming.
That's well
Biggest
designed.
play of the game for the Cowboys.
Well designed. They fake the toss into the boundary of the field. Watch the hard fake that way. Everybody reacts to it. Your corner comes up, Tank Kelly comes up, and then right behind him comes Austin Fort. I mean, that's well designed.
Well, Austin Fort was originally a quarterback recruit. And this is Tank Kelly who's down. That was a pickup of 25. Easily the longest play for the Cowboys in this game. Really the difference, Fresno's moved it a little bit. They had the field goal on a nice drive with their second possession. But then there was the muff punt by Conway, a short field 21 yards. And on the first play, McMarion on a well-designed play hit Rivers coming out of the backfield on a corner route for a touchdown.
They've had opportunities. They've had, opportunities to get the ball to their playmakers in space, but they haven't been able to do it. He hasn't been able to connect, and you have to give credit to the secondary for the Pokes. They've done a nice job. Coach Hazelton has put a ton on those guys. They've done a nice job of keeping Keyshawn Johnson at bay, Damari Scott at bay, keeping those guys from really cutting loose and getting after him.
I mean, Fresno State has just 133 yards of total offense after that 25-yard pickup. Wyoming's now at 98 yards of total offense. So as we thought, both defenses would play well. Fort, and he drives ahead to the 34-yard line. He got 8. So the old quarterback, second time they've snapped it directly to him.
He is running downhill, falls his lead block, Harshman.
Second and 2.
Look at the Bulldogs trying to tackle that football, trying to rip it out of there.
High with Van Manen back in. Trey Woods is the tailback. He gets the call. Woods trying to bounce it. He'll have a first down at the 29-yard line.
Tough to bounce against this team. There's a lot of speed. Mike Bell's able to track him down. A lot of speed from this team, but a good bounce, enough for the first down to keep it going. And I'm not so sure I don't allow my guy to possibly take a little play pass here in that big formation there, leave one receiver and go with a little play pass.
Again, 3 timeouts for Wyoming. Clock continues to move after they set the football. They'll snap it with less than 1:15 to go before halftime. Fake the jet. And he's got a man. First down, 15-yard line.
Popped it up.
Popped out. And
it coughed it up.
Over to Allison. And a huge turnover. This is the second of the game for Wyoming. They're used to taking the football away. And that terminated by far the best drive of the game for the Cowboys.
He's wide open in the seam. But watch the hat right on the ball coming right there. That's a great play by Jaron Bryant. Sticks his hat right on the ball, and a big time hit by Tabano Okeke. Watch Bryant put his helmet right on the ball. That's a great job.
Popped right into Allison's hands.
And that's a similar play that we've seen the Pokes make all season. That type of play right there. Tip ball knocked out, grabbed and run with. I mean, they've totally role reversals here this afternoon.
Oh, with 59 seconds, 58 seconds and 1 timeout. Fresno State, we'll see if they're conservative on their own 17. They'll give it to Hogan. Recover the football, and he comes out into the secondary somehow. He's going to end up getting 11 yards and a first down. Let's see if Jeff Tedford decides to rethink strategy here.
They've only got 1 timeout left, but
again, you got a quarterback that's played a good deal of football. Some here at Fresno.
They're not going to go. They're letting the clock go.
They're letting the clock go. But also, he started 7 games for Oregon State, so he's not a neophyte. But they're going to be content to take a 10-0 lead. In a halftime. Hogan. See, my thing, if you've already made that decision, why even hand the football off?
Well, if you do it too early, Weil still has 3 timeouts left.
Yeah.
If you do it too early, so you can't, allow them to maybe touch it again.
Interesting first half. 30 minutes done. 10-0 Fresno State. Turnovers, as they always seem to, playing a huge role in this one. 2 7-3 schools, 2 schools 5-1 in conference play. Let's go check in with Brad. He's with Coach Tedford. Brad?
Coach got a nice lead here. How are you able to do it?
Well, it's a tough ball game. 2 really good defenses playing. It's a struggle for sure. Got a good field position down there on their turnover, but it's going back and forth and going to be a tough second half.
Any adjustments for the second half?
Well, I'm sure there are. There always is. So we'll go talk about them.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
All right, Brad, coming up next, our Ram halftime report from here in Laramie. Fresno State 10, the University of Wyoming nothing at the break.
Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game or in today's extended classroom impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit. Being bold means rising up. So actions in the game, or in today's extended classroom, nurture the critical thinking skills, the disciplines that go beyond the scoreboard or academic rankings to impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. That's the purpose that binds us. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
It's a stage where champions are crowned and legends are born. Touchdown! 12 teams chasing one goal. The 2017 Mountain West Football Championship. Intercepted! A season-long quest for a reward that's as big as a mountain. What a game! Bragging rights and conference supremacy will be on the line on December 2nd. And the big game could be coming to your city. Follow your team's pursuit of the championship at themw.com.
Being bold means rising up. So actions
a long quest for a reward that's as big as a mountain. What a game! Bragging rights and conference supremacy will be on the line on December 2nd. And the big game could be coming to your city. Follow your team's pursuit of the championship at themw.com.
Here at War Memorial Stadium, it's a halftime report brought to you by Rams. Fresno State, they got a turnover to capitalize on that with a touchdown. They're up 10-0 here over the Cowboys at halftime. There's two stars on this Cowboys team, Josh Allen and Andrew Wingard. And we got a chance to sit down and talk to them about some of the stuff off the field.
Probably like Clay Matthews or something would play me. He looks a lot like me.
John Stamos. Nah, but realistically, Will Ferrell. I feel like I have his sense of humor. I'm probably not as funny as him. I think I'm pretty funny, but that's just my type of humor. I find him extremely funny. It's kind of weird, but like if I'm in a car, I will get car sick unless I'm driving. It's weird. I need to, like, I get lightheaded. I'm ready to throw up if I'm not driving.
Probably that I'm an extremely hard video gamer. Like I play video games probably 85% of my life outside of football. So yeah, I'm a gamer.
You know, growing up, my dad always had it on, and every Sunday, I just couldn't wait to get out of church so I can go watch the 49ers play because it always come on at 10 o'clock. You know, it's just something that I just wanted to do ever since I was little.
Intensity and the brotherhood of it. You know, you can go through so much on the field, and then just the bond you make with your teammates by going through so much with each other, and then just, you know, being able to look back on it years later and just laugh about it and stuff. That's what I love about it.
My dad, you know, he would throw a football to me, and I'd run around the living room, and I left, you know, feet tracks with me and my brother. We literally ran a circle into the carpet, and I slept with the football. I wouldn't sleep without it, and I don't know. It's always been a part of me, and I hope it will be forever.
Two Cowboys that certainly love football. Right now, they need to get together, though. They're down 10. There's more to come on the halftime report, brought to you by Ram.
Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game, or in today's extended classroom, impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
It's a stage where champions are crowned and legends are born. Touchdown! 12 teams chasing one goal. The 2017 Mountain West Football Championship. Intercepted! A season-long quest for a reward that's as big as a mountain. What a game! Bragging rights and conference supremacy will be on the line on December 2nd. And the big game could be coming to your city. Follow your team's pursuit of the championship at themw.com.
Being bold means rising up. So actions in the game, or in today's extended classroom, nurture the critical thinking skills, the disciplines that go beyond the scoreboard or academic rankings to impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. That's the purpose that binds us. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
Pretty cool. And then he came in.
Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game, or in today's extended classroom, impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
It's the halftime report brought to you by Ram. We're here in Laramie. It's 10-0. The Bulldogs in front right now. They're 30 minutes away from clinching a berth in the Mountain West Championship game if they can get a win. Now, as you look around the league, we're going to take a look at the news and notes presented by Ram. There's a bunch of individuals having stellar season, and they're looking at different awards. Frank Ginda, I want to talk about this linebacker, 5th all-time in single-season tackles. He needs 11 to set the new Mountain West tackle record. Michael Gallup, you've heard about him all season, leads the nation there. Bolitnikov, semifinalist. And Corey Bojorquez with a huge leg. He's left-footed punter. He's been doing it all season for New Mexico. Now time for scores around the league brought to you by Ram. There was a thriller last night New Mexico, and UNLV, and Coach Tony Sanchez and his squad got the win 38-35. Armani Rogers led them down the field, a touchdown drive with less than a minute to go. Big win for UNLV. They're 5-6. Utah State in the first quarter, they're out to a good lead. Utah State needs to win this game. If they do, they become bowl eligible. Colorado State, San Jose State, no score. Colorado State, that's their final game of the regular season. They're trying to stop a 3-game losing streak. And then Boise State Air Force. Boise State, if they win, they're in the Mountain West Championship game. And San Diego State, Nevada. San Diego State needs to win to keep their hopes alive to make it to the Mountain West Championship game. There's a look around the league. More to come. Stats and highlights are up next. It's the halftime report brought to you by Ram.
Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game or in today's extended classroom impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit. Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game or in today's extended classroom nurture the critical thinking skills, the disciplines that go beyond the scoreboard or academic rankings to impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. That's the purpose that binds us. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
Gentlemen, start your unwrappers. It's last gift time. This isn't child's play. This is a future professional sport. And it's all thanks to the expert service and selection at Best Buy. Open this last.
It's a stage where champions are crowned and legends are born.
Touchdown!
12 teams chasing one goal. The 2017 Mountain West Football Championship.
Intercepted!
A season-long quest for a reward that's as big as a mountain.
What a game!
Bragging rights and conference supremacy will be on the line on December 2nd. And the big game could be coming to your city. Follow your team's pursuit of the championship at themw.com.
We love this place.
We are back. The Ram halftime report continues from Laramie, Wyoming on a beautiful day. No clouds. There was some snow last night. It was quite cold this morning for our crew when they arrived at 6 in the morning, and kudos to them because they had about a lot of issues, not only cold issues, but travel issues as well. Back upstairs with Seth Bonner. I'm Drew Goodman. First half kind of went as we thought it would be. A battle between two outstanding defenses. Turnovers, the biggest difference. It's why Fresno State's in front.
The only difference. I think both teams played well defensively. Offense is still trying to get that flow, get that rhythm, but it's tough to do against stingy defenses. You just got to be patient and pick your shots. Fresno State was able to capitalize on the turnovers like you talked about, but these two defenses are playing.
Yep, and you can see at the outset that they were ready to play. Here's McMarion looking to pass, and he gets hit right in the chest plate from Granderson. And this was the first pass attempt of the game for Smith, and it ends up a sack. His man, his intended, his primary was well covered. And Wyoming, they played really good defense also.
Both teams,
was a turnover.
George Helmuth doing a good job there, but this is the biggest play of the game so thus far. Rivers up the hash to a corner route. I mean, look at that tight window throw. That's a tough throw. Very accurate and a great catch. You don't expect a running back to come out of the backfield and be able to do that.
And then maybe the second biggest play, Wyoming late in the half driving. This turnover, Drew Van Bonnen had the ball pop out. That was inside the 15-yard line. So you figured Wyoming was going to get at the very least a field goal out of that, if not a touchdown.
Well, that was Jaron Bryant doing a great job of putting his helmet on the ball, popping it out. Allison recovered.
And the numbers, you know, pretty similar on both sides. The difference, of course, turnovers. And both of these teams have been great all year taking the football away. Wyoming plus 17 coming in, plus 8 coming in for Fresno State. The numbers and our halftime report brought to you by Ram. When we come back, the second half will commence and the Cowboys will have it.
Gentlemen, start your unwrappers. It's last gift time. This isn't child's play. This is a future professional sport. And it's all thanks to the expert service and selection at Best Buy. Open this last.
Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game or in today's extended classroom impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
It's a stage where champions are crowned and legends are born. Touchdown! 12 teams chasing one goal. The 2017 Mountain West Football Championship. Intercepted! A season-long quest for a reward that's as big as a mountain. What a game! Bragging rights and conference supremacy will be on the line on December 2nd. And the big game could be coming to your city. Follow your team's pursuit of the championship at themw.com.
Being bold means rising up. So actions in the game or in today's extended classroom nurture the critical thinking skills, the disciplines that go beyond the scoreboard or academic rankings to impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. That's the purpose that binds us. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
Fuels their
Everyone's Parumpa Pump pumped for these last gifts. Score! Tyler got a Nintendo Switch, Mom got an HP laptop, and the cat got a Roomba. All thanks to the expert service and selection only at Best Buy. Open this last.
TNT Sportsnet.
Always good to be in Laramie, Wyoming. About a 2.5-hour drive to the north and west of Denver, Colorado. With said Bonner, I'm Drew Goodman, and we go downstairs, check in quickly with Brad Thompson as Fresno State's going to kick it off. We'll check with Brad right after this ball sails out of the end zone. Brad, what'd you learn from Craig Bohl?
Well, I caught up with Coach, and he just said, listen, offensively, they want to control the line of scrimmage. They want to control the ball, keep it away from Fresno State. And then defensively, they need to do what they do best, get forced turnovers and get the ball back, set their offense up in a short field.
Yeah, remember in that first half, Brad said they thought they had the turnover on the winger tackle and strip. The officials on the field gave the football what would have been the 26-yard line going in to Wyoming. It got reversed when the player who recovered the football, Tyler Hall, his foot was out of bounds.
Yeah, that was a tough break because they had garnered a ton of momentum. Everyone on that sideline was completely excited. They erupted when they thought they had the turnover. We'll see if they can regain some of that magic.
Tight trips and a wall of blockers for Trey Woods. And a nice gain on first down, 6 or 7 yards for Woods before Jeffrey Allison got there. Jeffrey Allison, 250-pound Mike linebacker from Miami. Kids go everywhere now. It used to be there were only a few schools that recruited nationally. So there's a kid from Miami playing for Fresno. You see that all the time now.
You know, when I look at this Trey Woods kid run the ball, I don't know if you agree, but when you watch him kind of slide through the lane and kind of reminds me of Marcus Allen a little bit. He's long, kind of slender build.
I think
that seems to fall forward.
Coming on the heels of Brian Hill and how Craig Bohl likes to play football. He'll get in that I formation. It's got to be really appealing. That's not going to work. Allison smothers the quarterback, Nick Smith. They had 2nd and 3, 2 down to pick up the first down, and they're going to have to punt again.
And I'm not so sure this was a read, but he just flows and allows his man outside to take care of the fly motion, and he just comes downhill and is ready to tackle when he gets home.
That's not a guy you want to run into sitting in the hole. Allison terminates that play, and Wyoming will punt it away. Keyshawn Johnson will not have an opportunity here. There's a flag down on the near sideline around the line of scrimmage. And it's going to go against Wyoming. Procedure penalty. It was a punt of 47 yards, which if you're Fresno State, you're going to have to line up and do it again, you would think.
Illegal formation on the kicking team. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. First down.
I don't know if I would risk having the ball be up in the air with the winds, and this is one of the tougher places to field punts.
It's one of the tougher places to play. One, because Wyoming, last couple of years especially, once Coach Bohl came in here and turned things around. But the element, you're 7,200 feet. This is and you're always typically in the second half of the season playing with wind, with cold, with snow. So Fresno State, their first turn on offense here in the second half. They're up 10-0. They fake the jet, and keeping the football is Rivers. He'll get a few. Tyler Hall made the tackle. This is the 68th year of War Memorial Stadium. They've won 66% of their games through the years. They've won 4 in a row at home, 12 of their last 14 here at the War, as folks in Wyoming call their home stadium. And this is Logan Wilson tackling Damari Scott. Will be short of a first down.
Brings up a 3rd and short, though. It's a great job of getting yourself in good spot to convert.
Fresno State's +2 in the game, said. They're 5-0 this year for Coach Tedford when they win the turnover battle. It is the single most important statistic coaches, announcers, anybody can throw at you. It never changes year to year. McMarion will throw for it. In the flat ball in the air, and it's going to hit the ground harmlessly for McMarion. Wyoming will get it back. They turn Fresno State away.
There's confusion. You had a hitch route, then you had Rivers running inside. Very fortunate that ball wasn't picked off. Not really sure what kind of route. There's no spacing. Look at these two guys in the same area. There's zero spacing there on that play.
Said that could have been picked off
absolutely
multiple ways. One on the deflection, but Logan Wilson was breaking on that football in the flat. Conway nowhere to go. And we'll have our first timeout in the second half. Both teams have had it. 10-0 it remains. 11:55.
Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game or in today's extended classroom impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
It's a stage where champions are crowned and legends are born. Touchdown! 12 teams chasing one goal. The 2017 Mountain West Football Championship. Intercepted! A season-long quest for a reward that's as big as a mountain. What a game! Bragging rights and conference supremacy will be on the line on December 2nd. And the big game could be coming to your city. Follow your team's pursuit of the championship at themw.com.
Gentlemen, start your unwrappers. It's last gift time. This isn't child's play. This is a future professional sport. And it's all thanks to the expert service and selection at Best Buy. Open this last.
Mountain West Football on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by the Wyoming Department of Transportation. WYDOT reminds you to buckle up every drive, every time. By KFC. Try KFC's $5 fill-ups. They are finger-licking good. And by Union Wireless, treating you like a neighbor, not a number. Well, this was a truck jackknifed on I-80 just to the west of Cheyenne. Much of our crew, they were supposed to stay in Laramie last night, couldn't get to Laramie because I-80 was closed. And I'll tell you what, they put in a long day after a long night. Some of our crew, as this pass is incomplete from Smith, took up to 6 hours to get here. Most of our crew Denver-based. And it gets treacherous in these parts this time of year. And then when you get here, they have the good fortune of being able to stand outside in 20-degree weather for multiple hours.
Trying to make us look good.
Yeah.
Trying to make us look good. Appreciate it, guys. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a labor of love, though, for all of us. It's turned into a pretty day. 2nd and 10 for Wyoming. And not much again. This is Kellen Overstreet for 3, maybe.
Mike Bell's able to finish it off, but a lot of guys at the point of attack. Helmuth,
they took a
KK.
They didn't take a shot, but they threw the ball on 1st down, and now it's a throwing down here, 3rd and 7.
They had nothing going for them on that play. I mean, really good coverage and leverage by Fresno State on that rollout.
Nick Smith is just 6 of 11 for 70 yards.
But you've got Tank Kelly down here on the sideline, one-on-one right here. Take a shot.
He's trying to cover a drag route. They go to the drag route, but Kelly's going to tackle his man short of the 1st down. That was
Drag
James
routes
Price.
It's a great route, but there's an art to running this route. You've got to be able to stack your guys. See how he just takes off and he's running with speed across the way. Well, that guy's a defensive back because of what, Drew? He can run.
Yep.
He can run. I used to call them professional catcher-uppers because that's what they do. They're going to catch up. You've got to somehow stare him, get him off his mark, and create a little more space before you go. You can't just take off and run.
And he's trying to outrun the fastest guy on defense in Tank Kelly for Fresno State. This is a low punt, and it takes a good Wyoming hop for Tim Zaleski. A great hop now. It's going to roll to the 6-yard line. Low artistic value, but ultimately got
money shot.
Got great, great judgment on it. 58 yards on that punt. Now, Fresno State, we mentioned earlier, 2 of their 3 losses came to 2 teams that very few teams beat: Alabama and Washington, 2 participants in the playoffs from a year ago. Against unranked opponents, they're 7-1 this year. They've won 6 of their last 7, as has Wyoming.
Well, that UNLV loss they took, UNLV had come off 2 heartbreakers, so they were playing extremely emotional. They were due, Drew. They had been due to steal a game.
Trips near side. McMarion will roll in that direction, and he's got it complete. Keyshawn Johnson out of bounds, 21-yard line. You have some space now.
Great throw and catch right there. And what sets this all up is watch the right side of the line, wall everything off. Great job getting out in front by Mutai, making sure nothing gets through to his QB, and a delivery on the move, right on target.
Now Johnson in the slot inside of Jameer Jordan to the top. First down for the Bulldogs, up 10-0. Pocket breaks a tackle, spins into the secondary, and then he hurdles Wingert, and he got 10, maybe 11. They'll give him 11. Another first down for Fresno State. Hockett, the sophomore from Clovis, California, the former wrestler.
I'm not so sure he's going to be former wrestler much longer, you know, with the program coming back to the Bulldogs.
9 carries, 45 yards for Hockett. He's the leading rusher in the game for Fresno State. Hockett, state champion in California at 182 pounds, originally went to Drexel to wrestle. His brother, they brought the program back at Fresno State. His brother Isaiah is wrestling for Fresno State. Hockett that time ran into Johanna Gaffon, and Gaffon threw him to the turf.
This is just a great move. Fights off the block. The pulling guard doesn't even see him, so he's supposed to clean that up. Doesn't see him. Runs right by him. Actually, that was Aaron Mitchell, the center. Runs right by him.
Throws you off schedule. Second down and 15.
Talking about a guy that had 11 tackles last outing.
When was the last time you heard of a defensive lineman having 11 tackle? It can happen, though, when you play the Air Force. And this is a really good pickup. Jalen Ortiz on just a little stick route to Keyshawn Johnson.
I think the thing that's so impressive about this throw and catch is watch the finish by Johnson. Once he catches the ball, there's no wasted motion. He gets vertical immediately, right up his shadow, right up field. Doesn't try to juke.
Gives him a realistic shot on third down.
It really does.
Jeff Tedford's already said working clock. Play clock down to 7:46 to go. He's going to call a timeout here. It's interesting because usually when you see timeouts burned in the third quarter, they're a miscommunication. The play clock's winding down and you got to call one. This almost looked like, all right, it's third down and short. We want to make sure we convert it. We want to run clock. They're already conscious of that. They know Wyoming's struggling offensively. Said, oh, we have no problem using a timeout here middle of the third quarter.
And just letting it run down, taking our time, making sure we get the right play call in, the right personnel grouping that we want. all the above to continue this drive and to keep working that clock. Be interesting to look at McMarion and see if he's actually, allowing it to get down beneath 10 once we get in. If he continues this drive, if they can convert here, if he's allowing the clock to get in within 10 before he snaps it.
4 wide receiver grouping. The lone running back is Ronnie Rivers on 3rd down and 3. And McMarion keeps, and he slides for a 1st down. We said it before, he has that dimension, but he's a reluctant runner.
He is, and this is a great read. Prosser gets sucked down inside too far. What I'd like to see McMarion do, when you're going to slide, commit to that slide and get your butt down. Get down on the ground. He's doing it really slow, which got him hit earlier in the game. But you got to get down, protect yourself. But that's a great read, great pull to continue this drive.
Started at their own 6-yard line.
Play clock down to 7.
58-yard punt. Wyoming brings heat. And this ball thrown away. He was outside the tackle box. He's not grounding. Coming off the edge, corner Rico Gafford.
It's a good job, and you got to be aware of it.
Good job staying in control by Gafford, wasn't it?
Absolutely. He's broke down. He didn't really jump, fall for the pump fake. Ball's in the middle of the field. He's outside the hash. That's a good call, or a good no call, I should say.
2nd and 10. Hockett's back in. They'll operate out of the pistol.
You always have to be alert for this. Anytime you're into that boundary, you're into this side. There's nothing here for this corner.
Hockett. 1st down to the 35-yard line, right in the A-gap. Finally brought down by Ortiz. Nothing fancy here.
Well, it's just straight ahead dive. See a good cave down block by Cal Rittering, the tight end.
A rare missed tackle by Wingard.
Head down. Man's not going down. Got to keep your head up.
16 yards on the advance for Hockett. He's now up to 57 yards rushing on 11 trips. Similar looking play, 3 yards.
Big offensive line starting to assert itself. And Fresno really being patient here. That clock's getting all the way down under 5, 4 seconds before they snap it.
Well, the key thing initially on that possession said was ball security backed up on your own 6. Wyoming has really struggled to move the football. You don't want to give them a freebie type of thing. Now they're well into this drive. Boy, if you put 6 on the board, it would be really difficult on Wyoming. They're looking for an end zone shot here on a corner route. It is
what a catch.
Complete at the 5-yard line. What a grab by Damari Scott, the senior from Muskegon Heights, Michigan.
Jalen Ortiz has got to sink. There's nothing in your flat. Throwing the deep over route. He's got to sink, continue to sink. See, he kind of stops.
You talked about it earlier. McMarion is a really accurate passer.
I mean, that's a great throw.
Tremendous throw.
But with nothing in your flat as an outside backer, you've got to continue to sink.
1st and goal at the 5. Hockett. Granderson closed it down. Also Wingard. Nosy around the line of scrimmage. 2nd and goal at the 5. Coming up the 11th play of the drive. Wyoming absolutely has to hold them to 3 here.
At minimum 3. If you can get a takeaway, get a takeaway. But you cannot let them score a touchdown.
McMarion toward Johnson. Well covered by Robert Priester. 3rd down.
Just got to give him a chance to go up and make a play. Keyshawn's a guy that will high point the ball at 6'2". You see there the size advantage. You just got to give him a chance. Now, Rico Gafford will compete when that ball's in the air. Priester will compete. Any of those corners will compete when that ball's in the air.
Johnson singled up into the boundary on 3rd and goal. Wyoming drops into coverage. McMarion in trouble, dropped back at the 12-yard line. Granderson got there initially. He kind of flushed him.
And this is being a little too careful. He starts to rush up inside. Just be patient, keep your separation, and try to find something. You see him once he starts to step up, and then his eyes leave the receivers altogether. And it's over by then. A good job not throwing something up, creating a turnover.
Sidney Malaulu also got a piece of that sack. So a 29-yard attempt, Camacho, and he's perfect. 2 for 2 today. Camacho on the year, 19 of 23, 13-0 Fresno State.
The end of my career.
On AT&T Sportsnet.
Today's drive of the game brought to you by the Wyoming Department of Transportation. Hockett transported this ball about 16 yards on that carry. And the big play on this 13-play, 83-yard drive was this corner route and a great throw to Damari Scott from McMarion. And ultimately a 29-yard field goal by Camacho. So important, though, for Wyoming. They held them to 3. It's still a 2-score game. By Wyoming, it's now imperative they get something going on offense. Their one significant drive today resulted in a late turnover on a fumble. And sneaking out of the pack, out to the 39 near 40-yard line on the return is Tyler Hall, who went the distance earlier this year.
It's a nice job. He just attacks it, though. Look at no breaking speed, no dancing, runs through an arm tackle.
Because Hall brought one back earlier this year when they've had their opportunity. Wyoming has been one of the top kick return teams in college football. It's just their limited opportunities now. Kellen Overstreet is in at running back next to Nick Smith. They've been conservative in the passing game with Smith playing for Allen, who has a shoulder injury. That's a catch. Price kept the foot in bounds while he juggled. So a gain of about 4 or 5.
And Tank Kelly kind of gives up on it because he sees the bobble. You see him right there, a little bit upset with himself. He didn't finish the play. He finished that play, you're able to knock it away. But a good job of concentrating and finishing the catch.
Nick Smith with a second down and a long 5. And they have been able to run, especially against the interior of that Fresno State defense. Malik Forrester, Nathan Madsen, 2 300-pound guys in there, and they have depth.
And experienced guys in there as well, Drew.
And you got Helmuth and Jeffrey Allison at the next level. So very good defense for Fresno State. 23rd in rushing defense in the conference, 21st in the nation. Last year, 123rd against the run.
Another big 300-pounder, KT Iokopa.
Smith, for me, said again, he hasn't played a lot of football. Once he didn't have his two primaries, if you will, he had room to go.
I don't think he's getting to the second guy. I think you've got to be deliberate. As soon as you get outside, he's an athlete. He's a good athlete. As soon as you get outside, you don't like the first guy, go get something.
And by the time he ran there, he got something, but he could have had a first down.
Absolutely. Could have had much more.
Instead, Wyoming will have to punt it away. Now, late stages of quarter number 3. Keyshawn Johnson back at his own 15.
If you're the Bulldogs, you want to make sure you're careful with these punt returns. Secure the ball.
Fair catch, 14-yard line. 13-0, Fresno State. They'll have the football when we come back.
Gentlemen, start your unwrappers. It's last gift time. This isn't child's play. This is a future professional sport. And it's all thanks to the expert service and selection at Best Buy. Open this last.
Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game or in today's extended classroom impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit. Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game or in today's extended classroom nurture the critical thinking skills, the disciplines that go beyond the scoreboard or academic rankings to impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. That's the purpose that binds us. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit. Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game or in today's extended classroom impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
Driven by you.
Fresno State leading 13-0 with Brad Thompson, Seth Bonner, and our entire AT&T Sportsnet crew. I'm Drew Goodman. Built new facilities left and right up here in Laramie, heading on to their already impressive football facility.
We can't even keep track of how to get to the buildings we need to get to, man. It's awesome.
It is. They've improved their basketball facility and the arena at the AA. Well, we just beat Oregon State a couple days back in men's hoops. That game was in Corvallis. Short gain on first down for Fresno State. They are mindful now more than ever of two things: ball security and the clock.
They did a nice job taking over 6 minutes off the last drive, and you figure nothing's going to change for them. But what has to happen for Wyoming, I don't want to say they're going to get desperate, but at some point they're going to try and force a play here. And that's when you can potentially give up a bust, give up a big one.
Two tight ends, heavy formation. And Wingard stepped right into that A gap and stopped Jordan Mims.
And he has got just an uncanny knack of seeing and really understanding what he's seeing.
He's playing strong this year. A year ago he played free.
Throwing a lot of window dressing in front of him with the fly motion, pulling guard, and I mean, his eyes go right where they need to go, and he's able to fill, and then when he fills, he's able to make tackles. I think when he played free, you got so many responsibilities late over the top at the free safety position. He's a guy that needs to be down in the box making tackles.
It seems a more natural spot. Huge third down. McMarion steps up, deep ball, and it is caught at the 35-yard line by Jameer Jordan. What a throw by Marcus McMarion.
You knew you were going to get a shot here, man-to-man. You knew you were going to get a shot man-to-man. He's able to get on top. But look at the outside edge of the throw. That's perfect. And they've been spinning coverage, so now you know this is your guy right here. Safety can't get there. And the ball perfectly placed. And that's actually good coverage. He's right on him, but the throw is better.
44 yards. Priester. It's just the man beat.
Just Jameer Jordan's 15th catch of the season. This is a guy that's been second on this team over the last few years in receptions.
Yeah, last year he caught 45 passes. That will be the final snap of the third quarter. Fresno State again in Wyoming territory. They're in control. They're up 13-0.
Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game or in today's extended classroom impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
Gentlemen, start your unwrappers. It's last gift time. This isn't child's play. This is a future professional sport. And it's all thanks to the expert service and selection at Best Buy. Open this last.
It's a stage where champions are crowned and legends are born. Touchdown! 12 teams chasing one goal. The 2017 Mountain West Football Championship.
Intercepted!
A season-long quest for a reward that's as big as a mountain.
What a game!
Bragging rights and conference supremacy will be on the line on December 2nd. And the big game could be coming to your city. Follow your team's pursuit of the championship at themw.com.
Today's game summary brought to you by CC's Pizza. 13-0 as we move to the fourth quarter. And Fresno State is on the move. Third quarter offense, 145 yards for Fresno State, just 24 for Wyoming. And Mims will get a few. Jalen Ortiz, the UCLA transfer, made the tackle, number 8. It'll be third down and a couple.
Well, this defense needs to force a takeaway here. Try to get something to give your offense a little momentum. It seems like they're going to need to get one of those defensive scores. They've been uncanny at forcing them and making them happen. They're going to need one.
Yep, you're right. It seems that way. They've had 3 this year. Mims dives ahead for the first down to the 24-yard line. Picked a spot and found enough of a seam to get the necessary yardage.
we've really got to give a lot of credit to this offensive line. They're going up against arguably the best front in the Mountain West. They've been able to create some space, allow their backs to move. Haven't seen very many tackles for loss.
Now it's starting to be a disproportionate number of snaps. This is the 54th snap on offense for Fresno State. Just 34 snaps for Wyoming on offense. You can be stout all you want, but if you've been out on the field with very little break in a physical game.
Physical game. Not a lot of pretty stuff today.
It's how Craig Bowl likes to play. Jeff Tedford's not opposed to playing that way. But of course, the biggest weapon for Wyoming not available today, Josh Allen. Shoulder injury suffered last week against Air Force. McMarion's got a man.
Oh my gosh,
nearly a circus grab by Damari Scott. He almost went OBJ.
Wow. You got to hit that. You got the man coverage. They run the corner route from the slot. Throws it a little bit behind and upfield. And look at Scott. He had his hand on it, but couldn't finish it.
That's one of the only times today, said your former quarterback, or we can say McMarion would want that one back.
Absolutely. You just got to get it out in front of the face a little bit.
That was an easy touchdown. 3rd and 8.
Middle field should be open here. He dropped into cover 2.
McMarion, underneath throw, Johnson. And he lost the football. A strip and a turnover. Cash Malawia with the ball. Johnson trying to move toward the first down, had it stripped.
And this is one thing I'll say until I stop being around the game of football. If you're on the left side of the field running with the ball's got to be in your left hand, away from the defense. But it's in his right side, right there on the right side, and it gets ripped out.
Talk about coaching it. Tyler Hall reached in, and just like you do in a drill on Wednesday afternoon, he pulled it out of there.
Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game, or in today's extended classroom, impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
Gentlemen, start your unwrappers. It's last gift time. This isn't child's play. This is a future professional sport. And it's all thanks to the expert service and selection at Best Buy. Open this last.
Being bold means rising up. So actions in the game, or in today's extended classroom, nurture the critical thinking skills, the disciplines that go beyond the scoreboard or academic rankings to impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. That's the purpose that binds us. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
On AT&T Sportsnet.
13-0 Fresno State. Wyoming takes the football away. That pleased Scotty Hazelton, who's in your picture there. Just walked away from the head coach, Craig Bowl. So Wyoming has produced almost 41% of their points off of turnovers. They need points desperately, down 13-0. 12:48 to go in the fourth quarter. High formation, Trey Woods, the tailback. Short drop. And Smith's got a man. First down, 33-yard line. Complete to James Price, the junior from the state of Washington.
A little bit of contact on both sides. Receivers trying to grab his hand. He's pushing. I love the fact that they allowed him to play there.
Pretty good arm strength thrown by Smith.
It was.
Smith's father played at Clemson. It's an athletic family. I'll tell you about his grandfather in a moment. That was a long completion for about a yard and a half to Josh Harshman. Nick Smith's granddad, Bob Stransky, is in the University of Colorado, down the road in Boulder, a couple hours from here. Their Hall of Fame. He was a running back at Colorado, played with the Colts, the Broncos in the NFL, was a tremendous player. So you can tell Smith comes from a great lineage. And that's why coming from Merritt Island, Florida, and coming out here, he has a lot of relatives, wasn't going to a foreign land.
It wasn't a big deal for him. Good support staff.
On the inside handoff, that'll set up third down and about 4 as Woods was brought down by Allison, the Mike backer. I'll tell you what, if they're anywhere close, this may be 4-down territory given the circumstances.
Yeah, I think your defense is still doing a good job for you.
Smith will keep, but there's nothing there. He's going to lose yardage.
He's got to go, though. You can't wait. It's a patient quarterback power, but you've got to go to the softness immediately.
And now, because you lose yardage, you have to punt.
I mean, it's quarterback power. You need to get right inside.
It's pretty conservative.
Of Cummings. I mean, and that's what they do. You come out and you throw the ball early, and you had a little success. But somehow you've got to convert.
Wyoming will kill it inside the 15-yard line. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedules brought to you by Quicken Loans after that 49-yard punt. Fresno State has 1 left against Boise State, and if they hold on today, they have guaranteed themselves a spot in the Mountain West Championship game. And it could very well be, in all likelihood, it looks like it'll be Boise, so they'd play them twice.
Back-to-back weeks.
A couple of weeks, which is strange. And our Rocket Mortgage Quicken Loans look at Wyoming. They have San Jose State left on the road. San Jose State struggling as much as any team in college football this year. They're down the road at Fort Collins this afternoon. Pocket. Nothing doing. He ran into Josiah Hall and Cash Malawia.
You're getting very similar looks when you go into trips formation. They're starting out a lot with a 2-shell, but they're rolling Wingert down into the box.
Trips up top, 2nd and 10, clock rolls.
So this is cover 3. See him spin Wingert back to the top.
They'll reset Rittering to the right side. False start. Nope, timeout, excuse me. Well, maybe not. The flag was thrown by the linesman. Timeout indicated also.
Prior to the snap and any foul, Fresno State calls their 2nd timeout of the half. It'll be 30 seconds in length.
Well, you know, if you're a former quarterback, you are always going to be hardest on the quarterback, right?
100%.
You know that. You played that position forever.
I did. Danny White was extremely hard on me, but I loved it. I loved the man for it.
Yep. Let's take a look at our results from the CenturyLink High-Speed Challenge. We asked you at the top of the broadcast who would represent each of the divisions in the Mountain West in the conference championship game. Boise State was selection. Wyoming was selected as well. Fresno State and San Diego State. It looks more and more like it's going to be Fresno State and Boise State. Wyoming hoping for a fourth quarter charge. Having trouble getting Jordan Mims on the ground.
Oh, that's a tough run. Tough run. When there was nothing there and he was able to squeeze through a lane. I mean, watch how little this crease is that he's able to squirt through, and just shows you the kind of leg drive and power he runs with. Again, folks, just a freshman.
Well, Logan Wilson got him to the ground. Wilson was a freshman All-American last year. He and Wingert, they got to be in double figures in tackles again this week. Third down, 7 for Fresno State. They need the 24-yard line. McMarion, first down throw. 23-yard line. They've kept that pocket pretty clean for him.
And that's a good job of him being patient. Just sliding up inside. Christian Conk did a nice job forcing his man. See, he steps back, and oh, that's a back coming over to help.
Another catch for Keyshawn Johnson, his 6th. That's a huge first down. They'll wind another 3 minutes off the clock, potentially. Rivers, a couple of yards.
Garrett Carl makes the tackle.
Nice job by Garrett Krall there to bring him down.
And to the 30-yard line goes Ronnie Rivers. Garrett Krall, 88, involved. And another third down for Fresno State. Once again, it's imperative for Wyoming, if they have any chance, they've got to get off the field here. Marion, 14 out of 23 throwing the football. They'll go on the ground, and a good tackle by Logan Wilson to stop Mims.
Really
But if you're Fresno State, you know, mission accomplished. They got a first down. When they got the football, there was more than 10 minutes to go in the quarter, and they're going to punt it away, and there's going to be around 6 minutes left. Austin Conway hoping for an opportunity to bust a return.
Snapped that one early. There was still 16 seconds left. They could have worked some more clock.
Conway. And are they going to say he called a fair catch also?
Psych.
I guess so. 25-yard line for Wyoming. 6:16 left in the football game. 13-0.
Gentlemen, start your unwrappers. It's last gift time. This isn't child's play. This is a future professional sport. And it's all thanks to the expert service and selection at Best Buy. Open this last.
Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game or in today's extended classroom impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit. Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game or in today's extended classroom nurture the critical thinking skills, the disciplines that go beyond the scoreboard or academic rankings to impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. That's the purpose that binds us. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
championship at themw.com.
Mountain West football on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Dodge Ram, Guts, Glory, Ram, and by the Wyoming Education Association. Join the Wyoming Education Association and put students first. Here's the situation. 6:16 remains. Wyoming trailing 13-0 on their home field, War Memorial Stadium, Jonah Field. They have the ball at their own 26-yard line. They've been outgained 179 to 45 in the second half. It was 10-0 at halftime. Smith stands in, ball batted down.
It's taking too long to get into the routes.
Smith had a couple of opportunities set a couple of years ago. Last year, Josh Allen took every single snap in an 8-6 season for the Cowboys. And this year, he's had minimal opportunities. Last week, he played a half against Air Force after the injury to Allen. But, yeah, it may say junior next to his name, but not an experience.
Absolutely not.
Smith to Conway, and he's grabbed immediately. It's a minimal gain. Good coverage by Juju Hughes.
You gotta somehow hit a vertical up the seam. You've got some space to do it. You've got guys that can run.
Third down and 7. 5 coming for Fresno. The throw by Smith missed C.J. Johnson, and it's 4th down, and with 5:30 left on your own
C.J. just
29-yard line, a decision, and here comes the punt unit.
And this is about as easy throw as you can get a guy who's wide open over the middle of the field, but the receiver's drifting inside, and quarterback throws it back to his right side shoulder.
This is going to die around the 20-yard line. Down it right away if you're Wyoming. Get a hand on it and stop the clock. 5:19 left. Fresno State very much in control.
Everyone's Parumpa Pump pumped for these last gifts. Score! Tyler got a Nintendo Switch, Mom got an HP laptop, and the cat got a Roomba. All thanks to the expert service and selection only at Best Buy. Open this last.
Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game, or in today's extended classroom, impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit. Being bold means rising up, so actions in the game, or in today's extended classroom, nurture the critical thinking skills, the disciplines that go beyond the scoreboard or academic rankings to impact the industries and neighborhoods of a community. That's the purpose that binds us. When academics and athletics rise together, the sky's the limit.
Fresno State leading 13-0. They had the football, 5:19 remaining in the fourth quarter from War Memorial Stadium in Laramie. And here's some scenarios to look at for the championship game in the Mountain West. Fresno State, if they hold on, then they're going to be in the Mountain West championship game. San Diego State obviously needed help, and UNLV needs considerable help. Though UNLV, we're going to see them next week in Reno against Nevada, and looking forward to seeing both of those teams. But UNLV has a chance to go to a bowl game with their victory last night against New Mexico. They're 5-6.
Great come from behind win. Amari Rogers Monty Rogers did a nice job. Redshirt freshman QB, game-winning drive.
Monty Rogers almost rushed for 200 yards. Hokett ran into Pill after a couple of yards. And if you're Wyoming, you're going to take a timeout here. They're first of 3 with 5:10 left. Here's all the bowl tie-ins for the Mountain West. The Las Vegas Bowl has first pick, and then the next 3, the Guild New Mexico Bowl, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, the Hawaii Bowl, 4 other bowl games involved potentially as well with the Mountain West. Teams that are bowl eligible already in the conference: Boise State, Wyoming, Colorado State in the West. Utah State needs a victory to become bowl eligible. Air Force needs 2. In the West Division, Fresno State clearly there. San Diego State 8-2, they're obviously there. UNLV now a win away, as we mentioned.
Think about what might have been for UNLV if those 2 games, you know, they don't lose their Monty Rogers at the second half of that home game against Utah State, and then the game at Air Force. They had it won.
Hokett with a couple. Well, think about this. The only team to beat Fresno State the last 2 months, UNLV, and it was in Fresno. And they won by 10.
On the heels of those two losses. On the heels of 2 heartbreaking losses,
you're right.
I mean,
Tony Sanchez done a really nice job. They're turning it around day by day. At a university has always been known for hoops. Got a new stadium coming too. They broke ground on that Raiders stadium that the Rebels will share with Oakland. Boy, that's a big hit by Priester. Took the feet out from under Josh Hokett. So Fresno State will punt it.
That might be one of those thigh bruises. He caught him square. I mean, that's a good tackle.
Well, he's unaccounted for.
He is. The extra guy in the scheme.
When the X's and O's get drawn up, they say, well, that O can't get there, except he got real nosy because he knows you're going to run the football.
And there's nobody lined up out there, so no responsibilities. Sometimes you got to bring your own blocker. Lockett didn't see him.
That was one of my favorite all-time college football lines. Keith Jackson, who worked so many games with coach Frank Broyles. This is going to cost Fresno State 5.
False start, offense number 4, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Herschel Walker had like a 10-yard run. Keith Jackson handed it off to Coach Broyles, and he said on the replay, he said that was BYOBB own blocker on that play, and Herschel picked up 10. Herschel could be his own blocker, right? Oh, this is a massive punt by Cusick. And fortunately for Wyoming, it hops into the end zone. So a punt of 60 yards, it'll come out to the 20. 4:17 left for Wyoming. Let's check in with Brad Thompson again. Brad?
Guys, as I see it, Fresno State being good again is really good for the Mountain West Conference as a whole. They're one of those tradition-rich programs. They can carry the conference, especially in the West Division. They've got so much history with guys going to the NFL and all that sort of thing. So it really helps the league when they're back and not 1-11 like they were last season.
It's outstanding. This is a team that has been in the Mountain West Championship game on a couple of occasions. They had a rough spot last year. Bring in Jeff Tedford. It seems like it's back to business. Price steps out of a tackle and gets
out of bounds.
9. I think did he give him enough for a first down? I think they're going to mark him short, but he did stop the clock. And now you really can't throw or run the football at all. It's all going to be on Smith to try to move Wyoming down the football field. They have not been shut out in 7 years. And Smith to Fort to the 44-yard line. Austin Fort.
We've got the middle of the field open. Anytime they want it, they can go there. Whether it be from a receiver coming inside from his outside position or one of the tight ends hooking up over the ball.
Deep shot, there's no one out there though. The man he wanted to throw it to broke off his route, and that was Price.
Some miscommunication. You know, sometimes you have a guy that has a pivot route or a stop route, and if you get pressure or if you're getting pressed, you're afforded the opportunity to go deep if you want. You can convert that route, but both guys have to be on the same page mentally to do that.
That's one of the better throws today for Smith. He finds C.J. Johnson in the middle of the zone, enough for a first down, 45-yard line of Fresno State. Easily the best drive in the second half for Wyoming.
And the same ball he missed on the previous drive where they had the punt. Good job of stepping into the throw.
Conway makes a man miss, another man, and then pays for it after an advance of 10 yards. The clock keeps moving. Jasad Haynes working his way downfield, made the tackle. Bailey, who was the leading tackler last year for Fresno State. He's at a Lake Travis High School in Austin, Texas. There's Bailey. Friendly fire is Jasad Haynes at about 275 pounds. Made the tackle, but he also hit Bailey.
Pointing to his back there.
Fresno State had to shut out opening their season against an overmatched Incarnate Word team. And then they shut out New Mexico 38-0. It's hard to do with the versatility of that offense for the Lobos.
And at that time, I hadn't seen anybody really shut them down over the last 3 years. They might have lost games big, but you didn't shut that offense down.
No. I'll crank the clock up here. 2nd and 1. Smith. Got to get out of bounds. Conway stays inbounds. Conway is to the 5. Fancy footwork by the sophomore from Aurora, Colorado.
Not sure if it's Tank Kelly or Jaron Bryant, but if you're outside, you've got to force him outside or just stay outside edge. You've got help inside. But that little stab move inside by Conway enables him to turn upfield, but you got to hold your leverage to the outside. You can't let him get up the boundary.
2 receivers right. Into the boundary goes John Akawali. Smith, underneath throw, broken tackle, Evans, touchdown, Wyoming. Nico Evans. And Wyoming, with 2:25 left, an extra point away from making it a 6-point game.
No wrap. George Helmuth, you never see that.
Nope.
That's a rare occurrence for him to miss a tackle.
Cooper Roth splits the uprights, and the shutout is averted, and it gives Wyoming a very real chance. They're going to have to, in my mindset, correct me if you disagree, still kick the onside kick because you have 1 timeout left.
With only 1 left, yes.
2:25 to play. Because then 1 first down, if you kick it, you're done.
You have to onside it. You have to. I mean, you could.
Here's for me why you do it. Because it gives you an opportunity, even if you don't recover it, and the odds are you don't, as we all know. but you still have an opportunity to get the football back. If you go ahead and kick it off, you have only one chance, and that is
got to stop him
getting a stop, and then you're going to have to really do something very quickly. Well, what did Craig Bolt tell us yesterday about this Wyoming team? And he's coached some really good football teams. You think about back-to-back national championships at North Dakota State, won 2 national championships as an assistant coach in Nebraska. He said, this is one of my favorite teams I've ever been around. He said they just, and coaches sometimes say this, but if you listen to Craig Bolt, I mean, it's a different type of statement. He said, they just will themselves to win week in and week out, to find a way.
And the kids compete. I think that's why, because they compete with each other in practice. The competition level is huge. What they do in practice on every day, I mean, and it's the stars leading the way, the headliners, the wingers, the Grandersons. Those guys are leading the charge.
Yep, the Wilsons.
Of your effort, your tempo in practice, and everybody is following right along in suit, and they're building a legacy here of how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, let's not forget Josh Allen. Obviously could not play today, but Josh Allen last week down at the Air Force couldn't play the second half, but you would have thought he was an assistant coach on the sideline, as active as he was.
Very engaged, and he's one of those guys that is uber competitive, extremely competitive young man. Loves the game.
We asked Coach Vegan yesterday, how far have you seen him throw it, just raw arm strength? He said, I've seen him throw it over 80 yards. That's ridiculous.
And he just threw his hand up like it was no big deal. Over 80.
So here we go. Cooper Roth. And he hit it a little bit too hard. Never got that nice second hop that we saw Boise State pull off against Colorado State.
That's the bad part, when you don't get the hop or the bounce, and give yourself at least a chance to go down and...
Illegal kick out of bounds on the kicking team. Then it will be 5 yards from the spot of the out of bounds kick. First down, Fresno State.
Because you don't get that bounce, you don't get an opportunity for somebody to at least go up and compete for it.
That may be the best onside kick I've ever seen last week. The one Boise pulled off. So Fresno State, with Wyoming having one timeout, if they can get a first down, they can virtually seal it. McMarion with Hokett next to him. Hokett the football. And Wilson another tackle. Wyoming not calling the timeout yet.
We'll let it play out, probably get to third down, depending on what happens here. But if you're Fresno State, you just want to give yourself an opportunity to possibly kick a field goal here.
I think all they're thinking about is a first down. Hokett, a couple. Pulled down by the shoulder pads by Cash Malawia.
You've got to stay disciplined on this young man right here, because he's only pulled it one time, but they've run a ton of zone read. You've got to stay disciplined on the quarterback. If he's your guy, you've got to stay with him. Don't get nosy and try to do someone else's job. Stay with McMarion on the defensive side. Don't get nosy.
Third down along 6. Straight give to Hokett. And Hokett is tackled around the legs by Jalen Ortiz. Now a timeout, 56 seconds left. And you'll see the punt unit for Fresno State.
See Fresno State using a ton of movement and misdirection to try and get leverage or an advantage, and that's just a good job staying at home defensively and playing your responsibility.
And if you're Wyoming here, Do you put 10 or even 11 up and try to block it? You're not going to get typically. You're not going to get a return from the 38-yard line.
You're not. I don't know if I do that because
you
run
risk
the risk of roughing the punter, and then the game's over pretty much.
But
no timeouts left.
Desperate times. 56 seconds left.
But
if you look at sometimes,
if you look at the splits here, they do run this huge splits. So if you can get a crease.
10 men up, Conway is back. There was movement.
There's actually 12 men on the field for Wyoming. He ran off. He was in the huddle.
Ball start, offense, number 4. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
And that's not the worst thing that could happen for Fresno State.
No, not at all. If you're Blake Cusick, you're the guy we always forget about in these situations, is Jacob Westbury. He's the snapper. Nobody ever mentions the snapper. There's a lot of pressure on the snapper to make a clean snap. But if you're Cusick, he just wants to get it off. Pressure came. Cusick got it away, and it goes into the end zone. So there'll be 50 seconds left. No timeouts for Wyoming. They need a touchdown. And they'll have to navigate 80 yards. Smith is 17 out of 25. Cosmetically, it looks much better for him. 178 yards in that touchdown on the last drive. And it was an 80-yard drive in which he was 6 of 7 throwing the football. Listen, he's had a lot of growth just within this afternoon, right?
He really has. And hopefully for him, that he can just come out and relax like he did on the last drive and just complete the balls that are in front of him. Don't do too much.
And for Jeff Tedford and Orlando Steinauer, defensive coordinator, they have a unit on the field that has been terrific all year. Smith steps up. He's got a man all alone. This is Conway, open field to the 39-yard line. They'll stop the clock to set the football. Wyoming sprinting to the line of scrimmage. How do you allow that game? That's 41 yards.
You got to do your job, not somebody else's job. Looking in the backfield.
Smith pressure, and is that a pass or a fumble? Fresno State jumped on it smartly, and they say Fresno State football. That was Allison who keeps playing. The linesman on this side indicates that it's a fumble. And now the referee, who has final say, Van Vark, says, no, it was a pass.
They'll look at
coming
it.
forward.
They've got to look at it.
Going on the field of an incomplete forward pass is under further review.
But you've got to have a clock in your head, and we've talked about Smith not playing a ton, but you've got to have a clock. This is too long. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 pats. Yeah, that's a throw. That's a throwing motion. That's going to be.
But here's the other thing. Okay, it's a throwing motion, but did the ball go forward or did it go backwards? I think on that angle, it does look like it went forward.
You got to have that clock in your head. You're up against it time-wise anyway. So there's got to be something in the route that you can get out of your hand quick. Everything's not going to be a home run. You've already got your huge gainer that you needed to even give yourself a chance. You've already gotten that taken care of. Now you just got to play.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed incomplete pass.
That's a right call. But I tell you, the tackles for Wyoming are doing an excellent job of forcing that long hoop rush outside. And if you're Fresno State or KK or Stanley on the other side, you've got to have something else in your toolbox.
Conway widest into the boundary. 31 seconds left. Smith too high for Conway. It'll be 3rd down, 27 seconds left. Again, it's 13-7. Wyoming needs a touchdown.
This reminds me of the Air Force game 3 years ago or 4 years ago when Bull first got here, and they came back and won the game at the end of the game with this kind of effort. They were trailed the whole game, found a way to come back and get it. We'll see if they can do the same today.
They'll dump it in the flat, and they'll get about 5 yards. It'll set up 4th down as Nico Evans, who had the touchdown catch a few minutes back, stops the clock with 22 seconds left. Now you're in a situation you need to pick up almost 6 for the first down. And you have no timeouts. You'll get the benefit if you get the first down of a clock stoppage.
Watch the route over the middle of the field.
Then you got to get up and spike it. Throwing, first down, 27-yard line. It was caught there by Johnson. 18 seconds, they mark football, and you get the spike. 15 seconds left. Said, now for me, you got to take end zone shots. You could probably get at least 3, right?
You've got to get 3 shots at the end zone, and I think it maybe fade, post routes, anything. Run your crosses underneath, but you got to hit something outside, over the top, in the end zone. You can't afford to try to go and throw anything in the field of play. It's got to go to the end zone, or maybe you throw one more out route out of bounds at the top of the screen just to get a little bit closer.
Price and Johnson to the top, Conway to the near side. Smith throwing, and it is incomplete. And he had Price. I think his arm may have been hit a little bit. There are 11 seconds left.
That takes too long for me. I mean, they're so close to getting there. They're running the wide hoop. Eventually, they're going to get home. Those guys are getting a little bit tired and gassed, but you've got Conway up there who's got as good a feet as anybody. Just put him on a 12-yard out up at the top of the field. Now you're a little bit closer, a little more of a chance for a shot to the end zone.
Fresno drops 8, and this is dropped. Incomplete. They intend to target John Akawali, and there's 6 seconds left. Now you have to go end zone. That play right there, it's fortunate the ball was not complete. It wouldn't have accomplished much.
Nothing. Besides, probably ran the clock out. They wouldn't have been able to get up if that is caught. But
and now look at Fresno State, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 players inside the 10-yard line. Trips to the top, 6 seconds left. Smith steps forward, pressure coming, he's sacked, ball game over.
You gotta throw it. Just throw it up.
They stopped the clock with 1 second for some reason. I have no idea. There's no reason to stop it. Now the referee cranks it up. That'll be the final snap. Fresno State has come to Laramie, and they've won their 7th game in the last 8 weeks. They improved to 8-3. And congratulations to Jeff Tedford and the Bulldogs. They'll be playing in the Mountain West Championship game.
West title, their 3rd. They won the first 2, but they're first since 2014, as you see there. And what a great effort and a great job of buying in by all these guys left over from the last program, because we saw them last year. They didn't look like they wanted to play any football. It's been a complete turnaround all around.
And an entire new staff. Usually there's a couple of holdovers, assistants. Jeff Tedford has an entire new staff. And Fresno State wins it 13-7. We go field level. Brad Thompson's with the winning quarterback, Marcus McMarion. Brad?
Marcus, you guys are headed to the Mountain West Championship game. How does it feel?
I'm excited. I mean, just the way our defense played and just a great team win overall. I mean, they played lights out for us. It was just an amazing feeling.
What about this journey for you, starting at Oregon State this season and then here now and turning this program around?
I mean, it's a blessing. I mean, definitely when I didn't know what was going on, I mean, God definitely knew what was going on when he brought me here and put me under Coach Tedford's wing. So I'm blessed to be in this position and be able to celebrate this win with my guys.
What do you think the biggest key was to turning this season around, this team around?
I mean, the guys bought in. I mean, I wasn't here all summer, but when I got here, I mean, there's definitely a different attitude and just a approach to everything. I mean, just a certain level of confidence everyone had.
Great job on the win. Congrats. Thanks for the time.
Yep, no problem. Thank you. Go Dogs.
All right, congratulations, Marcus McMarion, 14 of 23, 186 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. Give Wyoming credit. They battled, as they always do, to the final snap, and they made it most interesting in the waning moments of the game. And again, our player of the game is brought to you by Ace Hardware. McMarion, a candidate, but we're going to give it to an ensemble cast. How about the defense for Fresno State today? Nearly had their third shutout of the year.
Yeah, 2 takeaways on the day. See, that was a huge one when Wyoming had got some momentum. Brian with the hit, Allison picks it up. So they had just battled and battled, made it tough for Smith to get any kind of really good rhythm in that play right there to finish the day with a sack. I mean, what better thing could happen to your defense that's been leading you the whole season?
And your 2-star linebackers, Allison and Helmuth, 11 tackles each.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Boise State. Looks like it's going to be Fresno State. They're going to see each other twice. Probably close to the best first time around. What's your thoughts on that matchup?
It's a great matchup. I think, Boise's been the cream of the crop in this league for a long time, and people saw them fall a year ago, but they've rebounded nicely. Even early this season, they had their struggles playing 2 quarterbacks, which they're still doing, but Rippion's got it going again. The team's doing a good job. I really like what Fresno State's done, but to have to play a team 2 weeks in a row, that's going to be tough. And I'm not so sure who has the advantage there, but Fresno State, they deserve a ton of credit from where they were a year ago to right now. No one thought that they'd compete for a championship.
Yeah, once again, it's worth reiterating. We showed you at the top of the broadcast the fact that the media, again, they know nothing generally.
Smart guys.
Yeah, they picked Fresno State last in the West Division, and here they are